The Tie and Hoodie Show is sponsored by ICCLending.com. For real estate service, please go to ICCLending.com.
3, 2, 1.
Every human came to earth with a gift, and they must discover that gift and refine that gift for them to be fulfilled.
The prerequisite for spending time with any person is that they nourish and inspire you. They feed your flame.
Yo, hey man, how you work this radio?
You're now listening to the Tie and Hoodie Show.
Keep it locked.
Owning a home and paying it off is one of the data points of an everyday millionaire.
Home sales across the U.S. are on the rise as buyers take advantage of record low mortgage rates.
Good morning. Now let's get back to the Tie and Hoodie Show.
Good morning. It's a beautiful morning. Southern California. Welcome to everybody worldwide listening. It's the brand new Tie and Hoodie Show. For more information, you can look at the Tieandhoodieshow.com if you missed past shows or missed this show. I'm your host, Travon Smith, also known as Trey, and my co-host, the president of ICC Lending and author of Credit Repair Simplified, one of my favorite books, Andrew of Jessicoba.
Thank you, Travon. Good morning, Southern California. Good morning, world. Thank you again for joining us on the Tie and Hoodie Show.
A beautiful November.
Yes.
We got a vote soon coming up.
It's coming up
next couple days. So make sure, we don't care who you vote for.
Make sure you vote.
If anything's important, your local community is very important. So make sure you spend the time to do some research and go out and vote.
Make sure you vote. Your voice, your vote is your voice, right?
Yeah, and it must be heard.
It must be heard. Cast your vote.
So last week what did we talk about? We talked about motivation.
We talked about mindset,
determination, goal setting.
I mean, last week I was talking about, my goal of making $500 an hour.
I got so many DMs that I think, because Andrew put, he says I'm special, so I get to check his DMs. He got so many messages, but I'm letting you guys know. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's nothing on this show that I'll say that's fictitious or over exaggerated. When I say he's one of the few people that has a real goal of making $500 an hour and has the ability and is almost there, I promise you, that's why we're here.
It's work.
Trying to relay this message.
It's work. You just have to put in the work, put in the time, stay motivated, stay determined. And don't let nobody stop you. Anybody can do this. Anybody can do this.
You just it takes a lot of self-acknowledgement. You have to look at yourself, man, and then one day you're going to wake up and you're not even going to like the person you're looking at. And then after you make some changes, then you'll love the person you're looking at, and you don't even got to look in the mirror.
You just have to have the mindset and the determination to go to the optimal level of your capacity, and you put in the time, put in the work. It's not easy. Never easy.
Nothing's worth having is easy.
No, it's never easy, but it's absolutely doable.
And you're getting the best of the best information that we can supply to you while you're either in the car on the way to work or getting off work or working at work, or you're just up, having a cup of coffee or tea on your porch. But today, I'm excited about the show today because this is how I met this man.
I'm excited too.
This is what I had a chance to personally experience with this guy. I went through this process. So when I tell you I went through it, please listen, take notes. Go to the website, and the show will be uploaded. It's usually about an hour or 2 hours after we do it. And just take notes. Sit down, listen to it, spread it out, subscribe so you can get information about upcoming shows like this. But this show is an extremely important show because we're talking about the credit report.
We're talking about credit report. We're talking about credit repair, credit report, because we all know, the world, especially America, in the country we live in, runs on credit. So credit report is absolutely important in terms of your financial stability.
So this is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I'm going to interview you. Well, I'm going to talk to you. Okay. I'm going to talk to you, but I'm going to interview, because this is one of my favorite things And I know out of all the people, not saying all the people that you know, but I've been through this with you.
You've been.
I'm qualified to ask these questions.
Yes, it will be a honor to answer your questions. Yes,
and I like to start the show off because a lot of people talk about their credit, and no matter if you're listening, if you're at stage A or stage Z, some people don't have any of this information. So we want to always start it from the very beginning, as if we're talking to like 101, like credit repair 101. The first question I have is, how does the average person go get their credit report?
Well, there are two ways you can get your credit report. Now you can go online on a website, Google free credit report. That is the easiest way to get a copy of your credit report.
Okay.
It's a consumer credit report you're going to be getting. Now, if you want a credit report with scores on them, then that's different, So you can go in and you can actually go to our website, icclending.com. icclending.com. On the top right corner, it says check your credit. You can do that on our website. In this case, you will be getting a mortgage credit report.
What's the difference?
Well, we have a consumer credit report and you have a mortgage credit report. A mortgage credit report is mainly when you're trying to buy a house or you're trying to refinance a home loan. But it gives you the most comprehensive and easiest to read compared to a consumer credit report. That one is really long and there's a lot of stuff in there that you might not be able to understand. So it's a little bit complex, but still easy to read. So that's the difference between a consumer credit report and a mortgage credit report.
And on the mortgage report, because I've had both.
Okay.
K-Day listeners, listen. On the mortgage report, it has the phone numbers and contact information of the creditors.
Correct.
You don't know how hard that is to get on something else, but on this specific report, so you could go to any website, but as long as you get a mortgage report, and to make it easy for you, icclending.com has a button. You could get a mortgage report, and it has the number and information of the creditors.
Exactly. It has all the information of the creditors, so you can look at your credit report and you can be able to call whoever is reporting that information on your report and have whatever conversation you need to have with them. If the reporting they're reporting is not correct, or if there's errors, or if things that you don't agree with, you can pick up the phone and call, and you can have a conversation. A consumer credit report, generally, it will have some of this information, but it's going to be mostly at the bottom of the page, or some of them might not have a phone number that you might be able to contact who's reporting on you. And to your point earlier, a consumer credit report is a credit report that generally, you use when you're trying to maybe buy a car or buy jewelries or credit card. That's generally what a consumer credit report is kind of used for. But when you're trying to get a home loan, that's specifically a mortgage credit report.
So this is a question I know a lot of people have. If they don't have any credit or all, or no account, no car, nothing, no mortgage, nothing, how do they go about trying to obtain credit for the college students that are interested in listening right now? Because we have some DMs from college students. They're interested in starting their credit.
Well, that's a very good question. There are two ways you can establish what we call established credit. You can, if it's first time off, you can go online, which is, again, we'll go back to going online. You can go online and just Google credit cards. Mm-hmm. If you don't have any credit, the probability of you getting approved for a credit card is probably 50%.
Now this is something you taught me.
Yeah. So that is one option.
Something you taught me was go to Visa and get an unsecured credit card.
Secured, actually.
Secured. Yeah. I'm sorry.
So that's one aspect. You can go blind and try that. If that doesn't work, then you can go and get a secured credit card. Mm-hmm. The difference between an unsecured and a secured credit card is, with a secured credit card, you have to actually give them money.
And I don't want to mention any banks, but a lot of the banks do it.
Exactly. You have more than 30 banks that will offer you a secured credit card. You give them money, say $300. They'll give you a card. It's your money. All they are doing is they are reporting how you spend your money to the credit bureaus.
And it helps build your credit.
It helps build your credit. So those are people who say, okay, I don't have any credit. I don't have anything. You will qualify for a secured credit card. Regardless of what your credit looks like. You will qualify for a secured credit card because it's your money.
And that's something that people can do when they're trying to rebuild their credit as well.
Exactly. So whether you have zero credit or you're trying to rebuild your credit, a secured credit card is 100% guaranteed you're going to get it.
And this is something I've done. I have the secured credit card, and then another piece of advice you had gave me, and we're talking about years ago, like 8 or 9 years ago.
That's been a while,
before I purchased the house. The gas stations seem to give you credit cards easily. But the key is, go ahead and tell them the key is after you get it.
Well, after you get it, you have to manage what you're spending, right?
No, he told me to tear it up.
well, after, so if you're going to use it to build your credit, you spend, say you get a credit card for $300 limit, right? You spend $50 and then you go ahead and tear up the credit card and just keep making your payments. Why will I advise you to tear up the credit card or cut it up? It's because it's mainly for those people who cannot manage their spending habit. The only solution is to cut up the card and throw it away. Because if you have it, you're going to use it. So if you cannot manage your spending habit, take a picture of the card, cut up the card and throw it away. That's my best advice.
And create. You guys hear all these steps we're giving? We're trying to help you guys out, K-Day family. You can get all this information at Tieandhoodieshow.com and re-listen to past shows or this show. Trying to fix your credit, it's not easy.
No.
You need somebody to help walk you through it. Because we in the beginning, I thought I had all the answers.
Yeah, you thought you had the answers. I thought I had the answers. That's actually, if you've listened to part of these shows where I say I studied and I studied and I studied, it started with having a terrible, terrible credit. I mismanaged, misused, abused credit because I had no idea. I thought, you were just getting credit cards for free.
Exactly.
Spend and pay, you don't make a payment. Have all kinds of excuses why you're not going to be making your payment. It's easy to spend, but you don't want to make a payment and they report all these negative things on your credit report. That was me. That was me years ago. And I had to study and change my mindset, get out of this to the point now where I became an expert in helping people fix their credit.
Actually taught me how to read a credit report, and now I'm pretty efficient at it. But for the average person, you see those 3 numbers at the top. How do you know which is which, or how do you know what your so-called FICO score is? And that's the number that they use.
Yeah, you have three numbers on your credit report. You have, because your credit is being reported to 3 bureaus, right? Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. So basically the middle of the 3 is what most banks will go with. They call it your mid FICO score or your middle credit score.
Now, I had some people ask. We wrote down some questions that people asked in the DMs. That's why we're trying to help you guys out. Some people said, is it the middle number as far as, like, there's one in the left, there's one in the middle, and there's one in the right? No. Can you please explain that to them?
You have your high score, say 700, and the lower one is, say, 650, and the middle one is 680. So that's middle number, not middle on the page. Middle number of the 3. That will be your score that most of the creditors will use to offer you credit based on what you're looking for.
I remember going through the same amount of information, and it took me a while to start understanding it. Correct?
It took a while, especially if you're coming from an angle of having misused or abused credit. When I talk to people who have FICO scores or credit scores below 600, it takes them a while to really understand that. See, it can only go up if you do the right things. If you make mistakes and you mismanage and abuse it, it will go down. There's no other way. There's no way around it. But for me, as a person who had a score as low, one of my scores were in the 400s at one point, about 490. Now my scores are, knocking close to 800. It took a lot of education and time and process for me to understand what it takes to keep a good credit score. And that's something that, haven't counseled, or talked to over 10,000 people. It's not really that hard. It's just the hardest part is you understanding the system, how it works, so that your scores can be above 760.
This show is sponsored by ICC Lending, where real estate financing is done right.
And when you go to ICC Lending, whether you're trying to buy a house or you're trying to refinance a home, you will get the solutions you need.
You can catch us here every Sunday morning, 93.5 KDay, 6:30 to 7 a.m. We're going to take a small break, and we'll be right back to answer more of your concerns about credit reports or credit concerns. It's for all the people that DM'd us throughout the week. We told you, we're here for the people. We'll be right back.
Why aren't you voting?
When you vote, you can do something about everything. At voteforyourlife.com, it's never been faster or easier to make a plan to vote.
Time is running out, but you still have the chance to use your power.
Check your registration and make sure your address on file is correct.
Find your state's deadlines, learn about local candidates, and request a ballot.
You'll be able to see where candidates stand on issues you care about.
Order a ballot request form to be mailed to you with prepaid postage,
allowing you to vote early, easily, and safely.
Make a plan to vote early by finding your nearest ballot drop box, in-person polling place, or local mailbox.
And this is where you rise, this is where you shine, this is where you become the greatest of all time. History in the making.
Vote for your life.
Welcome back to the brand new Tie and Hoodie show. Every Sunday morning, 6:30 to 7 a.m. right here, exclusively on 93.5 KDay. If you missed this show or any past shows, you can go to tieandhoodieshow.com for more information or questions. We have all our social media platforms available on the website. I'm your host, Trey, and this is my co-host,
Andrew Ojesi-Cober.
Today's topic and subject is credit report and credit repair. There's people like me who've had bad credit.
Like me too.
Like you too, but that was a longer time ago.
Yeah, that's a while ago, but
I've
been there.
We put you out that window. You're not in that window with us no more with bad credit. But I've worked on mine. I'm working on mine again. I made a lot of mistakes. I bought a house. I sold a house. When you buy a house, it's like I got like 4 Home Depot cards, and I was like, and they all had like $2,000 on them. So instead of me going to Home Depot buying things cash, I was like, put it on the card, put a lawnmower, put it on the card, barbecue kit.
Like, don't do that, Travon.
Put it on the card. Put it on the card.
You're gonna get in trouble.
And I'm digging myself out of hole now, but I'm almost at zero debt. I'm almost at zero debt. So
good.
Clap, yeah. So that's really important that we talk about is getting back to closest possible to zero debt. So what do you say to somebody who has bad credit and they think there's no light at the end of the tunnel and they're trying to dig their way out?
Well, we had bad credit, right? I had bad credit. I didn't pay my bills. I had credit cards, didn't make my monthly payments, but my total amount I owed was about $15,000, and I didn't know any better. The only way I found that to fix it then, which I wouldn't have done that if I knew, I filed bankruptcy. That was a bad idea. That thing haunted me for almost 10 years. So if you're in the same boat now, you're like, you know what, I have bad credit, you just have to start from scratch. Pull a copy of your credit report. Let us help you review it for absolutely free. I'll review it for you for free. I'm not one of those people that will say, let me charge you money if you fix your credit. What we do is we'll review your credit report and tell you exactly how to start and where to go from there.
And they can pull their credit report at ICClending.com.
Yeah, you go on ICClending.com. On the top right corner, you're going to see a button that says Credit Report Access. Pull your credit report on that website, and you're going to get a report right away. We'll review it for you, tell you exactly what you're looking at and help you write a game plan to get back to normal.
The credit report is what you get through a third party. They charge, not you.
We don't charge. No, it's
they charge.
You can always get a free credit report. You can go to Credit Karma.
Credit Karma, okay.
You can go to Credit Karma and get a credit report.
And he'll still analyze it and review it for you for free.
Exactly. We'll still do that for you for free. So, but the first thing is get a credit report so you can analyze what's currently being reported against your Social Security number.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because that's something I didn't know as well. Some people try to pull their credit every day.
No, that's terrible. Like, don't do that.
I had to learn the difference, if I'm saying it correctly, a soft pull and a hard pull.
Yes, there's a soft pull or hard pull. You can always go to a place like Credit Karma or Credit Sesame so you can have a soft pull. It's not real. It's not the actual report, but it's very, very close to it. Most people don't know that Credit Karma is not real, but it's a good simulator of credit. So you can always use that to see exactly what's going on. A hard pull is when you're trying to buy, a car, a furniture, you're trying to have a mortgage or a home loan or personal loan. Then you're going to have a hard inquiry on your credit. You don't want to have too many hard inquiries on your credit, so you have to plan ahead, So you always want to do a soft pull when the opportunity presents itself. But in most cases, if you're going to have a credit card or stuff like that, try your best to limit the amount of inquiries on your credit, because the more somebody pulls your credit, the lower your scores.
And one of the things that people, if they haven't pulled their credit, you're going to get to this point right here. You want to talk about, and I had too many of them. That's why I'm certainly familiar with them. Collections.
Yeah.
With all the collections that could be on your report, what's your best advice to deal with the collections?
You have to change your habit.
You have to change your habits.
A collection is basically an account, an obligation that you refuse to pay.
Yeah.
That's what a collection is. Some people are going to, in all my experience, some people are going to, well, that's not mine. I'm like, well, how did it get on your credit report?
Yeah.
Call them and argue it out if it's not yours, realistically. But if it's yours, you have to call the company and say, see, I owe you $5,000. I don't have any money. And can I negotiate a lower balance? So if I owe you $5,000, can I negotiate a lower balance of $2,000 and make $20 payments every month?
And that's something that if you get your credit report pulled, ICClending.com, Andrew will talk to you about it, and if it's something I can help you with, I'll help you all with it as well. Things that I've done as far as giving you advice. I got a couple secrets. Andrew taught me some secrets.
You've been around for a little bit. You have some ideas. Yeah.
But the thing that I went about doing it, I had a game plan. If I had, and I'm embarrassed to say this on the radio, but hey, we're family. You guys are checking us out, listening to us at the Tie and Hoodie Show. You can check all past shows out at tieandhoodieshow.com. I've learned that from a couple of professionals, how to keep throwing in those plugs. But if you need some help, I can coach you through a couple things. And my words of advice is, I started from little to big, because if I had something on there for $50, I paid it. If I had something on there for another $120, I paid it. And it kind of starts, what we say is the train wheels going. Mm-hmm. So then I felt more obligated to start paying, because if you try to start big, you'll never get to it.
Correct. Remember our last show? The show we talked about mindset.
Yeah. That's my mindset.
Exactly. You have to get into a mindset of not owing.
Yep.
You have to get to a mindset knowing that a credit card is not your money. Okay, so you have to start with the small ones. If you have credit card balances that are like $50, that's what you should aim at. Don't go for the $3,000 balance. That's going to frustrate you and depress you. Take the smaller ones, because they all have the same equitable effect on your credit.
And like you said, it's a mindset, it's a mentality. But once you start knocking out the little to big, and you get to that last one where it's $3,000, and somebody tells you, hey, if you take care of this one, you'll be either close to 700 or a little bit over. You're in your mind, you're going to be like, I want a 700, so I'm going to take care of this.
You got to take care of it. And we have to take care of it because it's not your money. I know it's easy to spend on a credit card, but paying it back is always a pain for most people. I mean, who will tell me, who in their right mind will say, well, I love paying my credit card bills? Mm-hmm. Nobody really. But in the first place, it should be, why should I use the credit cards? Why?
Yeah.
And if you have your reason as to why you should use the credit card, maybe you have to buy food, maybe that's the only money you have, maybe that's the only access you have, you should also be thinking equally, how am I going to pay it back?
Exactly.
Because if you don't think that way, then you're going at it with the wrong intentions in the first place.
Yeah, because you could go to the store and spend $20 of food just because you don't feel like using cash, and that $20 of food is going to cost you $65 in the long run if you don't take care of it.
Exactly, in the long run. So you must always have a plan. How am I going to pay this back before I spend it? If you don't have that concrete plan, you're about to set yourself up for trouble.
I want to talk a little bit about co-signers, because I think there's a lot of misconceptions about co-signers. So if you could help us out, kind of, does a co-signer, I don't really know. I've never been a co-signer for anybody. So how does a co-signer work?
A situation of a co-signer is when, say for example, you're trying to buy a car and your credit or your income is not strong enough, and then I come in and I'm telling the creditor that I will be responsible.
I didn't switch from the Mitsubishi to the big body Benz now. I need Andrew as the co-signer.
I will be responsible if Travon doesn't pay his bills. So that shows up on my credit too. So the problem with that a lot of people have gone through is now Travon stopped paying his bills, and then all of a sudden I have a late on my credit. That's the danger aspect of a co-signer. Everybody needs a hand at some point. Everybody in this world needs a hand. So co-signing is not a bad thing, but you just have to be aware of who you're co-signing for. And what I tell people when you co-sign for somebody is make sure that you're the one paying the bill. Don't leave it up to them to pay it, because if they don't, it's going to affect your credit. So if you're the responsible party and you're the one that has everything to lose, make sure that they're paying you and you're paying the bill. So that way you're sure that every month what you co-signed for, that obligation is being met without any issues.
And don't forget, you can get all this information and pull your credit at ICClending.com. Once again, you can pull your credit report at ICClending.com. And if you go to Tieandhoodieshow.com as well, you can go get Credit Repair Simplified, which has all this information in it.
Absolutely. It's my book, which tells you exactly what you need to know and how you need to get to 760 FICO score and remain over 760 FICO score. Now, don't let's kid anybody here. If you have your credit score right now below 600 or at 620, it's going to take you time to get up there. It takes time. It's not something that happens overnight. You have to, first of all, start from step one. Pull a copy of your credit report. Go to ICClending.com. On the top right corner, you're going to see credit report access. Click on it. Pull a copy of your mortgage credit report. Or you can go on Credit Karma. Pull a copy of your report. If you need help, DM us on the Tieandhoodieshow.com, and we can help you analyze your credit, tell you exactly where you're at, so you can start that journey of obtaining a 760 FICO.
And we said we're going to start trying to put in more information in the show. For a lot of people, there's a lot of questions being asked, and we're trying to get to as many as we can throughout our social media. And remember, this is show 4.
Exactly.
So we're still building it. We're trying to get you as much information as we can. But we wanted us to put in something called the financial fact.
Exactly.
So today's financial fact is the confusion between 401ks and Roth IRAs. From the fact that they're both tax advantage retirement plans, they differ in secondary factors like tax treatment, investment options, and employer contributions. People get confused confused, advice that these plans are often think that they have to pick one or the other. In the ideal scenario, you would have both in which to put funds away for your retirement. If you're wondering where to start, here's the difference. A Roth IRA is an individual retirement account that lets you grow your money tax-free while it is in account. Additionally, as long as you've owned the account for 5 years and you're age 59 and a half or older, you can withdraw the money when you want without paying any federal taxes. So that's a Roth IRA account. 401ks were introduced in the 1980s as a way to supplement pensions. Essentially, a 401k is an employer-sponsored retirement savings plan. Employers are allowed to save and invest a piece of their paycheck before taxes. Most companies will match you on your 401k. They'll match you up to a certain amount. So that's something you can get involved with. But that's the information, the financial fact of the Tie and the Hoodie Show, the difference between the Roth IRA and the 401k account.
Hey, look, listeners, our goal here on this show is to help you develop personally and also to help you develop financially. Because those two things combined together is always going to grow your family and make you have a more successful life. The reason why we're bringing you this information is because it's essential into your financial success. So today's topic about credit is important. If you have any questions about getting a copy of your credit report, or if you have questions about your current scores or how to improve your scores, go to ICClending.com. On the top right corner, pull a copy of your credit report, contact us, and we'll help you get to that level.
Remember, the Tie and Hoodie Show is every Sunday morning. We're here for brain food for you, 6:30 to 7 a.m. right here exclusively, 93.5 K-Day. Or if you missed this show or any other shows, tieandhoodieshow.com. We'll see you next week.
Thank you so much.